Yo, what's going on, gang? We actually have a really cool video today. If you all remember, obviously Vanguard had its own, Warzone map, large map. It was called Caldera. It was an island theme map. It was Warzone Pacific, and it honestly didn't do too hot. With that being said, though, they're trying to figure out why that is and why it wasn't a fan favorite. So Activision is going to release Caldera dataset for academic use, announcing the open source Caldera map release. With a vision to expand the knowledge of base gaming industry, Activision is excited to share the release of an open source data set featuring the map of Caldera for non-commercial use. Basically, to simplify this, they're going to not only show the map itself and how everything's made and size, stuff like that, scale per se. They're also gonna have references of where people were dropping and once they landed where they went, and it's a way to track. And honestly, if they are able to look and see where people are going, they get a generalized favoritism on certain POIs, why that might be a POI, see correlations in different spots across the map. And this can be translated to other games in the future, as we have this whole new wave of game developers going through school now and they're learning. I mean, this could be really big stuff. It's actually really cool to see some of these graphics too, like this rendering of Caldera before it was painted and colored, just right after the source code. It's really interesting to see how that works. It says right here, besides the geometry representing the Caldera map, what other data did you include in the set? Vance, we also included in-game character pathing and time samples showing how players behave on the map. For instance, one of the sets shows the path players take throughout a match. While we have not included specific visualization of these, the data is easily accessible, allowing different ways to explore and visualize them. So you can see way up in there, you can see where the plane goes through. That's obviously we can't really get a freeze frame here, but you notice in each one of these pictures they keep portraying, maybe I can zoom it in, make it a little easier to see. There's a straight line going through the entire graph. Obviously, that's going to be the plane. Everyone's jumping off of that, going to their own spot. But you can see there's sections of the map other than Final Zone, obviously, where people really don't wander and travel too much. It looks like there's always a connection to the center of the map, no matter what. If you kept your eye on the center of the screen, it's it's just revolving around that one spot. So that kind of told you that was the hot spot. The only other spot on the map that's similar to that is to the left of that, right here. Other than that, everything's odds and ends. You don't really see too many people up in this area unless the plane just went directly over. But it's unique. It's no matter where the plane actually goes, you have people in these three locations right here. It's almost like a big triangle. So that kind of leaves the opposite end of the map very barren. You're not gonna use that as a drop POI. It's not something you're gonna constantly go to. It's just a pull between these three. That's what made Verdansk so unique. Instead of having 3 points of interest that you wanted to go to in a triangle, you had more spread all four corners of the map, the middle, everywhere. I mean, there were spots all over the map where people wanted to land, which made the map way more diverse and made the gunfights way more unique, rather than, if everyone's landing here, but your favorite spot's way out here, you're not going to be getting into too many gunfights unless you're traversing, inland, which was super frustrating because it was a larger map with a smaller player count. So it's still extremely exciting to see that they're going to release this data. Hopefully they can fix stuff. It looks right here, they're going to show heat signatures, largest areas. Again, you can kind of still see that little pattern going. It's really neat though. Call of Duty, if you didn't know, uses their own language for their coding for their game, which is pretty neat. All kinds of new developers don't really use their own language. They use different languages, but Call of Duty in particular has their own language for their games, which I think is super unique, especially with the use of AI learning and code source, open source, stuff like that. This is going to be neat. I'm excited to see what comes of this. This won't be the last time we hear about this, but I just want to talk about that gang. COD's finally it looks like with the release of Black Ops 6, they're making changes. Not only that, they're okay, how can we fix things in the future? So they're starting with the first big massive change in Warzone that honestly took a big plummet, and that was Caldera. It's funny, you know, they're not shipping out, you know, what made Verdansk successful. It looks like more or less they want to see people's opinions on why Caldera probably flopped. Anyways, gang, if you're new to the channel, enjoy the content, man, hit the sub, crush the like, catch you tomorrow for another heater. Let's get it, gang.